Right now, in this exact moment, thousands of people are typing the same 4 words into TikTok's search bar. Has Leonor found her prince? And if you type it yourself, you'll find a wall of results that all seem to confirm the same thing: a mysterious new man, a secret relationship, an internet that's finally cracked the case. Except almost none of it traces back to anything real. So instead of adding another guess to that pile, we're going to do something more useful. We're going to figure out exactly what triggered this specific wave of buzz, follow it back to its actual source, and show you precisely how a rumor with zero verified evidence manages to look, from the outside, like breaking news. By the end of this video, you'll understand this internet phenomenon better than most of the people currently fueling it. Let's start with what's actually driving the buzz right now, because it isn't a single dramatic event. It's a pattern, and once you see it, you'll recognize it everywhere. A TikTok account posts a video captioned with something like, "The mysterious boyfriend of Princess Leonor," built around a screenshot, a blurry photo, or simply a name typed over royal footage. The caption cites something vague, European media have said, without linking a specific outlet or a specific date. That video gets pushed by the algorithm because Leonor's name alone reliably drives engagement, regardless of whether the content underneath the caption holds up. Other creators see it performing well, and within days, dozens of near-identical videos appear, each one repeating the same unverified claim with slightly different music and slightly different camera angles, creating the illusion of a story that's been independently confirmed by many different sources, when in reality, it's the same single unverified claim, echoed. Right now, the specific name doing the rounds is Gabriel Giacomelli, a name that traces back to reporting from Spanish outlets Marca and The Objective. But look closely at how even those original reports describe him, and the picture looks very different from what the TikTok captions suggest. He's described as discreet, deliberately avoiding media attention, with no public photographs of the two of them together and no official confirmation from anyone connected to either of them. In other words, the outlets credited as the source of this rumor are themselves telling you it's unconfirmed, while the content built on top of that reporting strips out every one of those qualifiers and presents it as settled fact. And Giacomelli isn't even alone in the current cycle. Scroll further and you'll find posts insisting the real answer is Barcelona footballer Pablo Gavi, built entirely around a stadium photograph where he happens to be looking in her general direction, something royal protocol makes almost inevitable given how often the royal family attends major national team matches. Keep scrolling and you'll find claims dating back years, recycled and reposted as if they're new, about a supposed classmate from her time studying abroad, a friendship the same reporting explicitly states has never been confirmed as romantic by either the palace or Leonor herself. 3 completely different names, 3 completely different storylines, all trending simultaneously, all citing essentially nothing. Here's the detail that actually explains why this particular week produced such a noticeable spike in searches, something that has nothing to do with any of these rumored men at all, and everything to do with a completely unrelated event that happened to put Leonor back in front of cameras at exactly the right moment for the algorithm to take notice. I'll walk you through exactly what that event was in a few minutes, because understanding it explains the timing of this entire wave far better than any of the boyfriend theories currently circulating. But first, if you want the accurate version of these stories instead of the recycled speculation flooding your feed, subscribing helps this channel keep tracking it down, and it takes about 2 seconds before you keep watching. The real trigger behind this particular spike traces back to Leonor's recent run of highly visible public appearances. Over the past several weeks, she completed years of demanding military training with a graduation ceremony at San Javier, appeared at the Princess of Girona Awards, toured the ancient ruins of Empúries, traveled to New York with her family for the World Cup final, and stood beside her father during the emotional homecoming reception for Spain's newly crowned champions. Each of those appearances generated a fresh wave of photographs and video clips, and each fresh wave of visibility creates a predictable side effect. More footage of Leonor smiling, laughing, or standing near any man, teammate, dignitary, or otherwise, gets treated by content creators as potential evidence, regardless of context. A candid photo of her laughing with a football player during a palace reception, taken purely because he happened to be standing nearby during a celebratory event, becomes, within hours, the next piece of proof in an entirely separate, unrelated rumor. This is worth understanding because it reveals something important about how these cycles actually work. They aren't triggered by new romantic developments. They're triggered by visibility. The more publicly active Leonor becomes, doing her actual job as a future head of state, attending ceremonies, meeting officials, representing Spain internationally, the more raw material exists for creators to mine for out-of-context images that can be repackaged into a dating narrative. It's a strange inversion. The very appearances that prove how occupied and institutionally structured her life actually is get twisted into evidence for the opposite claim, that she's secretly living a hidden romantic life the public just hasn't uncovered yet. There's also a financial incentive worth naming directly, because it explains why this content keeps getting made despite never actually being confirmed. Videos using Leonor's name alongside words like boyfriend, secret, or exposed consistently outperform straightforward factual content about her actual public duties. That performance gap creates a powerful incentive for channels optimizing purely for views to keep producing this content, regardless of whether there's anything new to report. Some of it is created by real people chasing engagement. Increasingly, some of it appears to be generated or assisted by AI tools, producing near-identical articles across multiple unrelated websites, the same vague phrasing about a longtime boyfriend whose identity remains closely guarded, appearing word for word across different domains and different bylines, a telltale sign of mass-produced content rather than independent reporting. So let's address the actual structural reason skepticism is warranted here, beyond just the lack of photographic evidence, because there's a legal dimension to this that most of the boyfriend content completely ignores. Article 57 of the Spanish Constitution, specifically Section 4, states that if the heir to the throne marries against the express prohibition of the king and the Cortes Generales, that person and their descendants are excluded from the line of succession. This means any serious relationship Leonor eventually enters into carries constitutional weight, not just personal significance. It's precisely why her own parents' 2004 wedding required such careful institutional handling, given that Letizia Ortiz was, at the time, a divorced television journalist marrying into a line of succession. If Leonor were in a relationship serious enough to be described as her prince, precedent strongly suggests it would eventually require exactly this kind of formal, public, institutional visibility. A relationship serious enough to marry into remains very difficult to keep permanently invisible, particularly for someone under this level of media scrutiny. And that scrutiny is worth pausing on, because it cuts both ways in this story. Leonor is arguably one of the most photographed young women in Spain, followed by a dedicated royal press corps at nearly every public appearance. If a consistent romantic partner existed and had existed for any meaningful stretch of time, the complete absence of even a single verified photograph across years of intense coverage would be a genuinely remarkable feat of secrecy. Not impossible, but a significant claim requiring significant evidence, and so far, across every version of this rumor currently circulating, that evidence simply doesn't exist. What we can say with confidence is grounded entirely in the verified record. Leonor completed her 3-branch military training this July, graduating at San Javier after roughly 2 years split across Spain's Army, Navy, and Air Force academies. She's set to begin a political science degree at Carlos III University in Madrid this September. She traveled internationally with her family for the first time as a complete unit to support Spain at the World Cup final. Her schedule, documented extensively through official royal household sources, leaves remarkably little room for the kind of sustained, hidden relationship these videos describe. That's not speculation. That's simply what her actual calendar looks like this year. So has Leonor finally found her prince? Based on everything currently verifiable, the honest answer remains exactly what it's been for years now. Unconfirmed. Not secretly true. Not covered up. Simply unconfirmed, because no credible outlet, no photograph, and certainly no statement from the royal household has ever supported any of the specific names currently circulating. What has changed isn't her romantic status. What's changed is how much raw footage of her exists right now, thanks to an extraordinarily public few weeks, and how efficiently that footage gets repurposed into a story with far more confidence than the actual evidence supports. If breaking down exactly where these online rumors come from, and why they spread the way they do, is useful to you, subscribing helps this channel keep doing exactly that. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it's the easiest way to catch the next one before the algorithm buries it under 100 more recycled boyfriend theories. So the next time your feed serves you a video confidently announcing Leonor has finally found her prince, you'll know exactly what to check first. Not whether the caption sounds convincing. Not how many other videos are saying the same thing. But whether there's an actual photograph, an actual quote, an actual confirmation behind it. So far, across every version of this story, there hasn't been one. Until that changes, the real story here was never about a mysterious man at all. It was about how quickly an internet built for engagement can manufacture buzz around nothing, and how easily that buzz gets mistaken for truth. Transparency note. This script distinguishes verified facts, Leonor's completed military training, her upcoming Carlos III university enrollment, the World Cup final trip, and Article 57.4 of the Spanish Constitution, from editorial analysis of online rumor dynamics and content incentives. No named individual has been confirmed by the Spanish royal household as romantically involved with Princess Leonor as of this recording, and all boyfriend claims referenced in this script are explicitly identified as unconfirmed.